Hello friends, welcome back to Mothership. Today we're going to make our very own ranch dry rub. We're going to coat down some baby back ribs and then we are going to smoke them up. Let's get started. Here are my baby back ribs. If you watched the channel before, you know I'm more of a fan of spare ribs, but you know what, I had these in the freezer and figured why not use them today. So we're just going to do some light trimming here, nothing crazy. I'm going to pull off this right here. Take out this fat right here. And then the only thing I want to do is take our membrane off, which I found if you put a knife underneath, like so, you can usually get a finger up underneath there. Easy. Now there's about 3 pounds of ribs here. We're just going to put salt on. My usual rule of thumb, guys, is a ½ teaspoon per pound of meat. Since the 3 pounds, you can call half of it is probably going to be bone, which we obviously don't need to account for. So let's say 1½ pounds of actual meat, which comes out to, you know, I don't know, 3/4 of a teaspoon, something like that. Basically, we don't need to be super precise. We just want to get just the meat side coated down in salt. Don't worry about the bone side. And honestly, these fat pieces right here, I don't even really bother going too heavy with salt there because salt's not going to absorb as well into the fat, excuse me. We want to focus more on this meaty goodness. All right, now that this has been coated on salt, I'm going to put it back in my fridge and wait for all that salt to get absorbed. And then we'll come back and we'll throw a rub on this sucker. Now we'll wait for that salt to get absorbed. Let's get a rub together. For this dry ranch rub, we're going to start with buttermilk powder. We're going to do about a ½ cup of it. You can find this usually in like the baking section. Just make sure it's all broken down and not nice and clumpy. To that, I'm going to add a tablespoon of dried parsley, a teaspoon of freeze-dried chives, 2 teaspoons of dried dill, a whole tablespoon of garlic powder, ½ tablespoon of onion powder, and a ½ teaspoon of black pepper. Now, we're not adding any salt to this because we salted our ribs down first. If you are not going that route, you probably could do maybe a teaspoon of kosher salt to this mixture, and that should probably be enough. But what we want to do now is get this all completely mixed together. And this is what we're going to use to dry rub our ribs. This amount probably will do more than 1 rack, maybe 2. I don't know. You could probably get even 4 out of this. I think this is a lot. But right now, get it all mixed together, and we're still waiting for those ribs to get that salt absorbed, and then we'll come back and give it a nice rub down. All of our salt has now been absorbed, so let's get some rub on here. I don't need to use a binder. The salt brings out enough moisture for everything to stick. So I'm just going to do a light coating on this side. It's not really that necessary. Just make sure everything gets in there. Make sure you get the sides. Perfect. Now this is what we care about. This is the meat side. I want to get everything coated down. And that looks good to me. At this point, guys, we're ready to toss it onto the grill. So I'm going to get outside and get my kettle up and running at a target temperature of about 250. Kettle is up to temp at about 225. I'm going to run it between 225 and 250 is my goal. Most likely it'll probably be fluctuate between 225 and 275. A little bit of carbon, pull it off. As you can see, I got the ribs on, and I'm just going to keep throwing wood chunks on as needed. I like to leave them on here so they get like pre-warmed so that they combust faster. But I'm just going to run it like this until it looks like we need to actually spritz, if that's going to be the case. But in general, I want the bark to set, so it's just going to run just like this. Keep monitoring, adding wood chunks on, but let it do its thing. I'm using apple wood today on my wood chunks. I think a lighter type of wood is probably best for this rub. But we'll come back in a bit. These little guys have been running for about 4 hours. There's some pooling on top here, so I didn't really want to get in there and spritz or anything. Bark is pretty much set, but I'm just glad to keep doing its thing. If we want to do a flapper test on here, these still have quite a ways to go, as you can see. Internal temperature is probably about 170. Let me check. It was getting close to the surface, so obviously it was wrong. We'll get into the meat here. I'm showing an internal temperature of 175, so plenty of time to go. But at this point, I'm going to keep monitoring. If it does start to look a little dry, I'm going to spritz. For this cook, you know what? Pickle juice would be a fantastic spritz. But let it keep doing its thing. Continue to throw wood chunks on, you know the drill. But let it keep doing its thing. About 5 hours in, and I'd say these are ready to go. Now, the flapper test, if you watch my videos, is what I like to do for spare ribs. For baby backs, I don't really want to take it that far because it's just different kind of fat profile and meat profile. These are all probing about 199, 198 all over. I'd say this is good to go. Honestly, if you lift it up here, you can see it's breaking on the top. These are ready. I like a little bit of bite to my ribs anyways. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these off, put them in tin foil, and they're going to go sit in my toaster oven at the lowest temperature until we're ready to eat, because it's a couple hours till we want to eat. That'll hold it. It'll let everything come back together, which is what I want. And yeah, we'll come back and we'll see just how we did in a couple minutes. For you guys at least, for me a couple hours. All right, now if you've watched this channel, you know I'm not the biggest fan of baby backs. I like spare ribs, and specifically I like beef back ribs more than everything, but this is what I had in the freezer, so this is what we're doing today. When you're cooking spare ribs versus baby backs, just remember spare ribs, you're cooking for that consistency. You're looking for all the fat to melt down and then it comes nice and flapper test, as I like to call it, where you hold it in the middle and everything comes together. When you're looking at baby back ribs, you're really cooking for temperature. So you're looking at 195 to 199, somewhere in there. That's the point where they're ready to pull off. So it's not so much the consistency, you're just looking for temp. Now on these, the only thing we did was that dry rub. I wanted to use a spritz, and if I had done a spritz, I probably would use pickle juice, but I didn't need them on these. They were pretty much moist the entire time. I did not wrap them. If you're going to wrap them, well, I'm not sure what I would do. Maybe put pickle juice and sugar in there, but I don't know. As far as what I did here, basically just throw the dry rub on, then send them on the grill, and just use a whole bunch of fruit wood, which is what I did today, apple wood. Now, when I serve these, I am going to have a side of ranch, just to add more of that ranch flavor. We really want these to be ranch ribs. Now, full disclosure, I have not actually tried these before, so this is going to be absolutely brand new taste for me. So let's cut one off and just see how we did. Oof, those are perfect ribs. I mean, what's not to love about that? That looks incredible. Can't complain. Smells really good too. Good smoke smell on there. But let's see if we get some of that ranch flavor on there and just see how these ribs are. And you know what? They taste like ranch. I am a little bit surprised. I thought that that ranch flavor would probably not have made it through on the actual cook, but these are smoky and ranchy. And I think with a side of ranch, these would be even better. These are fantastic. If you're into ranch, give these one a try. Now they definitely need a different flavor pairing to go with them. So maybe like some quick pickles would be really good with this. I think that's what I'll do next time. We're just gonna have corn tonight, corn on the cob. But I think the correct answer here is make these ribs, have a side of ranch, and then do some quick pickles. And I have probably somewhere on our website or a video of how to do those. Basically just take cucumbers, throw them in with some vinegar for a very quick amount of time and get quick pickles. I think that would be fantastic with the vinegar and the ranch, but these are actually surprisingly good and very interesting. Very different than what I expected. Really good smoke flavor on them. Just a great rib overall. But enough of this conversation. I'd love to know what you guys are doing down below. Give me your weirdest rib recipe. I mean, everyone likes a good barbecue rib, but do you do anything interesting like a ranch rib? I feel like this dry rub would be really good on chicken wings. I think I'm gonna have to try that in the future. But I'd love to know what you guys are cooking regardless. Let me know down below, but most importantly, get out there and cook something absolutely fantastic, and I will catch you on the next UFO barbecue. Bye-bye.